We've got some beautiful halibut, and this is going to be really great in this dish because this is a steaky fish. I think a lot of your problem with fish is that you are using thin fish and trying to add liquid and things to that. And with thin fish, what you want to keep in mind, like sole, like tilapia, you want to sort of bread those, cornmeal or flour, and pan saute them so they get crispy. This here, you can broil, you can bake in the oven, you can saute this. Now that we've got our great fish, we're going to make this wonderful fish stew. You ready for this?
Sounds great.
Okay. I am going to take chicken chorizo. You're not a big fan of pork.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start browning my chorizo for a really, really awesome flavor. How you doing? Now, I'm going to show you something. That is how most people would do that. And they would do these half circles as you've done here. What I find when you're going to do a slice of onion, you're going to go with the grain.
Other way.
You see that? So now you try doing the rest of that, okay? Now, I'm going to make it a little bit spicy. So I'm going to take a little crushed red pepper. That's what's going to add a little bit of that oomph. Now I'll take your onion.
Put it right in?
Yep.
All right.
Give it a stir. Nice job. Smelling good. Since you added that, I'm going to come in with a little bit of salt, and I'm going to add some bay leaves. And boy, is that going to give this a wonderful flavor.
Smells great.
Already, right?
Yeah. Smells like the ocean cooking back here.
Yes,
and
indeed.
Yeah.
Smells just like New Bedford.
That's right.
Your husband's going to just love this. We're going to add a little bit of thyme.
Now whole, or do I kind of?
You could add it whole. You could strip it off the stem, and that way you don't have to fight with it later on. Nice job. Now garlic.
I think we need more.
My kind of girl. And then we have a little bit of that Portuguese wine. So let's add a little bit of that wine in there. Add the tomato and work the tomato in there. This is going to give us a little color. You can see it bleeding out. Now we need to strain this. So see what I'm doing here? I'm taking the strainer. I'm pushing down on it.
So you keep everything at the bottom.
I keep everything on the bottom. Okay? So I have that in there real nice. So we're going to let this simmer.
Okay.
Now let's add a couple of more ingredients.
Okay.
We're going to add some potatoes. Drop them right in. Good job. This is like a hearty fish stew, you know?
Yeah.
Also very near and dear to New Bedford. These are fresh fava beans. So we'll add the fresh fava beans in there. This is just a little special treat for you and Keith because this is going to be like going home with him. Now, we want to take our halibut and cut it in chunks. The best way to do it, we have the skin on, like chunks like that.
Keeping the skin on too?
We're going to keep the skin on. Why not? It'll keep the fish together too, which is another problem that you had.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it, okay? We got our broth that's simmering around looking really good. We got our fish cubed up, scallops, mussels, clams. So now, before we work on our next project, I want to give you a little taste of the broth. The potatoes are not fully cooked yet, but it's really going to be the taste of what the foundation is really going to be like.
Wow.
Now we would adjust the seasoning. If you want it spicy, we'd add more pepper. Want a little bit more salt, we'll add the salt. Now what we want to do is we want to start cooking the potatoes and the beans. So we're going to put a lid on it, and we're going to turn the stove down. Oh, it's coming around great. You see, we've only added the fish in there maybe a couple of minutes ago.
Okay.
The mussels are beginning to start to open up. The clams have not yet, okay? The scallops are just about there. So let's just put the lid on one more time. Oh,
look at that.
Look at how absolutely perfect that looks.
Great.
We're going to go in for one of those New Bedford scallops.
Oh, yeah.
Mussels, some clams. Here's the halibut. Look at how beautiful that halibut looks.
Ooh, look at that.
Look at how flaky, how delicious that looks. Look how flaky that is.
Perfectly
cooked. Look at that.
Now I know what to do.
A little bit of parsley.
Cheers.
Lonnie, you did it.
Thanks.
You did it.
Wow.
Out of sight.
My fish problems are over.
Your fish problems are done.